Welcome back for more with NC Sports Weekly News, your water sports essential. In this edition, Emma Wilson and Radoslaw Furmanski are crowned 2014 RSX Youth World Champs in Clearwater, Florida. The Volvo Ocean Race 122nd update. Get the full picture with NC Sports. And then senior correspondent Sebastien Destremau with the latest from the Virtual VOR. Class 1 and V1 power machines hit the water in Terracina for the Italian GP. Fendi and Carpitella take the win away from victory. From stillness to fury for a super tough Middle Sea Race 2014 around the island of Sicily. Top young surfers now in Ericeira, Portugal for the ASP World Junior Championships. NC Sports plunge into the action. The UK's Emma Wilson and Radoslaw Furmanski of Poland were respectively crowned as the new RSX 2014 Youth World Champions in Florida over the weekend. 54 men and 28 women from 18 countries reached Clearwater as the Gulf of Mexico delivered top racing conditions with wind speeds in the upper teens, sun and mild temperate weather. This was the very first official RSX class youth event ever held in the USA, the birthplace of the sport. Racing against the bigger gals, Emma Wilson is now the UK's new enfant prodige, nabbing not only her own under-17 category crown, but also the overall youth world title. With few setbacks, her performance improved relentlessly in the series of 12 regattas, with a win in race 9 and 3 more podium placements, including a crucial second place in the double-pointer medal race. France's Berenice Mege couldn't capitalize on her 2 victories, and with a 10th place in the last regatta settled for a second overall. Very similar story for Italy's Marta Maggetti, closing in 3rd place here in Clearwater. Radoslaw Furmanski and Mattia Camboni put on an epic battle for the men's RSX Youth World title. The Pole and the Italian went at it blow for blow, and for most of the championship constantly traded places on the 2 top positions. In the end, just 1 point decided the title in favor of Radoslaw, 27-28. Top performance also for Spain's Tony Bonet, who completed the overall podium in 3rd. And now, the latest Volvo Ocean Race update in 120 seconds. After the first split in Cape Verde last week and yet another regroup at the equator, the doldrums became a decisive Leg 1 passage for the fleet, now on its way to South Africa. With the VOR 65s delivering equal speeds in their descent along the African coast, the 7 teams had to take their gamble and sought quite different options to cross the tricky light airs on an east to west spread. Vestas Wind took the radical inner route. Abu Dhabi and Brunel stayed on the conservative outside, while slightly behind, Dongfeng, Mapfre, SSCA and Alvimedica went straight down the middle. Clearly, Boe Becking and Ian Walker would make substantial gains by sailing westward closer to the rump line, and as expected got better wind angle and speed once in the South Atlantic. They probably never expected to meet up with Chris Nicholson, however, artfully negotiating the eastern route to its maximum potential and dangerously wedging into 3rd position. The island of Fernando da Noronha, just off the coast of Brazil, would be the next mandatory waypoint and reality check. Abu Dhabi and Brunel passed through virtually neck to neck. Vestas Wind cleared the mark in third with a scant 30 nautical mile deficit, while the rest of the pack fought to make up a 100-plus mile gap. Facing the easterlies generated by the systems in the Southern Ocean, a group of 3 Volvo Ocean Race veterans is currently fighting for the lead in Leg 1. This is getting very interesting, and the fleet is now due south to southeast, with the teams again looking for the best option to poke through the weather systems and make a gain on the last stretch to Cape Town. More on the next NC Sports Update. Plus, every Sunday at 9 p.m. on Nautical Channel, catch up on the greatest around-the-world regatta with the official half-hour presentation of the Volvo Ocean Race 2014-2015. From the real thing to the online ocean, senior correspondent Sebastien Destremau now has this report from the Virtual Regatta Racecourse.
You're watching VR News, a virtual sailing update made by you and for you. Welcome to the office. Many of us are wondering why the leaders are sailing along the coast of Brazil after the mandatory Fernando de Noroña's mark. The direct route is rather southeast, but everyone seems to fancy a course due south. Well, it is called the St. Helena's High, and it creates the current southerly trade winds. Very unstable, it is blocking our direct route to Cape Town. Everybody will go around it on its west side and aim at a low-pressure system that we should find near Punta del Este in Uruguay before crossing the Atlantic at full speed. Negotiating this left turn is crucial and very difficult to do well. It's one of the most exciting decisions of this Leg 1 to South Africa. Before talking via Skype to one of the leading players, and not that I want to add more pressure, I would like to remind you that the winner in Cape Town will be invited to join me in Abu Dhabi in January to witness the start of Leg 3. Not bad, eh?
Now it's very, I don't know, it's, the path to the south is not clear, 20 bar, and every forecast, the high pressure goes to one side and the other, and it's a big area to pass, to cross. So I think out this case, the Leg 1 will be decided in the next hour, the next days, 3 days, I think.
Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella on LFF10 proved that they can be a cut above the rest last week, posting a second in Race 1 and then an authoritative first place in Race 2 in their home waters of Terracina for the overall win of the Italian GP in Class 1.
Very nice race from the start because we have fighting immediately with victory. We have a little bit more speed, but we give the space in the first turn. So when we're coming out of the long 4-buoy, they have a boat advantage. We push like a crazy for the way down, and we arrive with one boat in the front, and we decide to not move the throttle. We go in on the first turn on the full speed.
Pushing back the World Championship leaders Alza Fine and Ben Hendy was a huge statement by this newly formed team that held average speeds of over 97 knots. Victory's unexpected retirement on lap 10 for gearbox failure ultimately closed the file in the Azzurri's favor. Racing on the inside lane on the same course with the Class 1s, these monohulls are now part of a unique and ever more spectacular UIM powerboating event. Averaging speeds of over 85 knots and clinching a third and a first place, Aquasport's Belgians, Daniel Kramphorn and Nico Hubens, also dominated in the V1 category.
When we was in Ibiza, we had lots of problems, we had lots of things to work out, and it's the first time in a boat together, but now we've done 4 races together, we've done 4 qualifyings, and we're a team, and it's a great team, and we may only be a small team, but there's a lot of passion, and it's great when this happens. It's not for us, it's for everyone.
For both Class 1 and V1, and now it all goes down to the last GP of the 2014 UIM season, scheduled for this December in Abu Dhabi. Be there with NC Sports. The 606 nautical mile racecourse around Sicily with start and finish in Malta has been a Mediterranean classic since 1968. And this year, the 35th edition of the Middle Sea Race went from tedious to dramatic, proving that this can always be one tough regatta. In its epic annual ritual, the cannons of Valletta's fort once again signaled the start in the Grand Harbor in the very light southerly airs that conditioned the first part of the race. In the initial struggle for wind, the big yachts slowly advanced and then efficiently negotiated the incoming breeze on the second night to round the island and make it back to Malta. Jochen Schumann's Zenit Europa 2 was first into Valletta and took the line honors with 3 days, 10 hours, 42 minutes, while Nicolas Zenstrom Ran arrived in Malta 2 hours later as winner in IRC 1. Instead, the smaller and therefore slower classes were less fortunate, as conditions changed dramatically for them on the fifth day of racing, with gale force winds and up to 60 knots sweeping the racecourse. Caught in the storm, nearly 50 boats, or half the fleet, was forced to abandon this memorably tough regatta. Adding to a superb performance then for the overall winner on handicap of the Rolex Middle Sea Race 2014, the J22 RT, owned by Lee Saltariano, that covered the distance in 4 days, 13 hours, and 35 minutes. The ASP Junior World Championships are now full on at the iconic right-hand break at Ericeira in Portugal, as some of the best young surfers on the planet are facing off for the 2014 crown. Entries include top men and women surfers from each of the ASP regions: Australasia, Europe, Hawaii, Japan, North America, South America, and South Africa. Open to the under-21 category, several athletes here are already competing on the Pro Tour, and then many others seek valuable points for next year's qualifying series. 19-year-old Ella Williams of New Zealand is looking to defend her 2013 ASP World Junior Women's title, while local star Vasco Ribeiro, also 19, is aiming at topping his recent European title victory with a brand new world crown. North Atlantic weather systems are promising long-range swells hitting the Portuguese coastline for this highly anticipated event on the ASP Junior calendar, so the action is assured. Full updates and results in the next editions of NC Sports Weekly News. Bermuda set perfect conditions over the weekend as Johnny Berntsson and his Stena sailing team nailed a 3-1 against Eric Monin's Swiss team and took a historic second victory at the Argo Group Golf Cup. Get the full take from Act 6 of the Alpari World Match Racing Tour in the next NC Sports Buzz, premiering this Saturday at 5 p.m. only on Nautical Channel. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.
Det är fantastiskt jätte. Vi har seglat grymt bra.